Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 11, episode 3, and today we've got a massive doubleheader with Borussia Monchengladbach. And to be honest, we did an invincible challenge with Bayer Leverkusen earlier this year, one of today's opponents, and we might as well have saved it for now because we feel invincible at the moment. 13 games in, we are top of the league by 4 points to today's opponents Dortmund and RB Leipzig, who have played a game more. Bayern 7 points behind, but they played the same games as us. And in our second opponents, Bayer Leverkusen, 8 points behind in 5th place. So it's 2 big games, definitely our toughest away test so far. And we've got this run of really tough games now. If we get through the Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, Leipzig and Hoffenheim spell, and we're still top of the league after that, and we're still unbeaten after that, then I think we can start to talk about the title. If not, we could gradually fall away a little bit. But as you can see from the table, the lowest we're realistically going to finish is 5th. And that is an incredible achievement given where we started this season. We've got a chance to get into Europe, and that is almost certainly going to happen now, which should appease a few of the unhappy players and board members and keep our job for next season. So today's focus is going to be entirely on the pitch, not a lot of news off it. We're just going to go and play through these 2 massive games. So if you're looking forward to that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you've missed any of the season so far and don't know what we're doing over in Germany with Gladbach, please do catch up with the season in the eye above. And there's links to all of my other content there as well, including Cricket 19, my live stream series, my One Club story, and the Stadium Review Series 2. Thank you for all of your support on the channel. It has been much appreciated, and it is absolutely fantastic that you're still watching along after so many seasons. It seems like the move to Germany's given us a new lease of life, and it seems the Bundesliga is as popular with you guys as it is with me. So let's hope that stays that way, and that we can keep this surprise title challenge on the cards. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, then subscribe down below and turn those notifications on, and you'll get updates as all the new content releases and whenever we go live. But let's go and have a quick look at our results before we get into today's game. No transfer news, of course, because we're in the middle of the season. And since the last episode, we've not dropped a point. We've played 6 games, we've won all 6, and we've only let in 1 goal as well. We've scored 2 or more in all of them bar 1. It's just been a fantastic spell. So you're with me, of course, for the Bayern game, and even that one we only drew because of an awful error of the keeper at the end. And he got injured not long after, but he did play in the following game against Hertha Berlin. Kazuki Kawakita with a brilliant header early in the second half. And then again, a bit like Oliveira earlier in the season, got himself sent off. But again, we managed to hold on. We were defensively resolute, and Kennedy Abeng picked up a knock, but it didn't harm us greatly. At home to Union Berlin in the second round of the German Cup, Deshaun Radam turned up with a brace. We said he'd be crucial off the bench in cup games, and he proved to be just that. Amiri got a goal with 10 to go as well. A comprehensive victory against the second tier side. And a 3-1 win at home to Hamburg. They got a late consolation, but it was already well beyond doubt. Castrati with the opener before Seekins and Wilhelmsen got a goal apiece. Then a 3-0 victory at home to Mainz. Seekins again amongst the scorers. Kennedy Abeng back from injury with aplomb. And Millie and Jimenez with a screamer late on after the away side went down to 10 men. Before we headed into the home stretch before the mid-season break, Eintracht Frankfurt were our first opponents. On the road, a 2-0 victory. Nicholas Stark got a penalty before a late second from substitutes Liu Nan, and that wrapped up another comfortable victory. And it was followed by the same scoreline at home to Wolfsburg. Seekins and Oliveira, with 50 minutes gone, it was wrapped up again. And we just feel invincible when we score goals. You can see we've got that 18-year-old Yannick van Holt. He's been in goal for the last few games. Von Holt, sorry. And we've just not looked any different. It's incredible that we're able to do such a thing. And with our first choice keeper back today, barring any disastrous errors again, I feel pretty confident, and that's the best I can say going away to a monstrous club in Borussia Dortmund. So let's not hold things up any longer. Off the pitch things are excellent as you'd expect. The only one who's unhappy is Roberto Alvarado. He's barely got a game and he's already looking to leave. So I think in January he might be back on his way out. But into the first game against Dortmund, as we mentioned, we're very much slight underdogs, but we have got our first choice keeper back. So it's Maximiano in goal, Markovic and Pereira the fullbacks, with Kawakita and Nicholas Stark at centre-half, Wilhelmsen and Jimenez in the middle, Ben Castrati and Vera the attacking 3, and Ed Seekins on his own up front, now 11 in 13 Bundesliga games. Not sure if he's still top scorer. Let's go and have a quick look if he is. He is the top scorer. Wilhelmsen has the second highest average rating, and Abeng and Castrati are the top 2 in the assist charts. So overall, things looking very good. Alvarado out the squad just because we want Von Holt on there in case we have a problem with a keeper. But into the 2 games we go. We're going to drop to our balanced mentality for these 2 against massive sides at the top end of the Bundesliga. And if we can come out of these 2 unscathed and unbeaten, this is going to be a remarkable year for the club. Here we go then, 4-2-3-1 for our opponents, and one immediately recognisable name, Ethan Ampadu at centre-half. We're now 11 years in, but he is still a very good player at 29. They've got Pinamonti up front as well, much talked about in real life at the moment. Where is it he's at? Genoa he's at. He's a very good player too, and there's a few others in there as well. They've actually only got about half a team of regens, which 11 years in is not bad at all. But let's just go and get into it. Dortmund always known for letting young players get a chance. And if we ask the lads to pick up where they left off, we just have to hope they produce their best. They've been so solid throughout this season. And yes, we've got our keeper back now. Yes, he made an awful error on camera last time. But with 5 minutes gone, Dortmund have had 1 shot. And we've not seen anything on camera just yet. Free kick for Dortmund on the left-hand side. Into the back post, headed just over. Free header, we don't give those away often. But thankfully, Maximiano had it covered and didn't have to make the save anyway. Pinamonti's picked up an injury and had to go off, but it's still Dortmund on the front foot early on. The home side looking in control, and this is probably the worst we've looked early on in a match. Here's Meyer in the middle. Farai, back to Meyer again. We're forcing them back with the press, but eventually they get out with the ball to the right-hand side. It's blocked though, but Meyer picks up possession. They're recycling it so quickly, we just can't get out. Here's Onlio to Bilielek. Back out to the right back again, into the box, headed down and volleyed. What a save! No, it's hit the post. That surely looked like it got a hand on it. Maximiano, you deserve the credit there, but as it stands, it counts as post and wide. And Dortmund are coming forward for the 3rd time in a row. Bollen down the left, headed away by Pereira. Straight back to the fullback again though, and he beats his man to get it in. Farai shoots, blocked to the rebound, and it is cleared off the line. It is incredible, the last-ditch defending. And now can Seekins nick one on a break? He can't, and Pardew gets the challenge in. But it has been all Borussia Dortmund so far, and we're going to have to demand a bit more from these lads. 30 seconds to go to half-time. It has calmed down a bit in terms of highlights, but we've still not really seen one attack from us yet. As Meyer puts Bollen in down the left, this is a chance for Dortmund to score at the perfect time. It's blocked the first time, and the second one's in. And to be honest, we haven't really laid a glove on them this game. And we're going to be deservedly behind, but it's a shame we couldn't hold on. And there's going to be a big team talk for us now. We've been outplayed. Yes, Dortmund haven't had many on target, but if they've been ruthless and clinical, we'd probably be out of sight in this game. So let's go to positive. It's how we normally play. Let's try and get on the front foot in this second half and see if we can scare the yellow wall. Throwing on the left for Dortmund, and it looks like we're continuing in exactly the same vein. And Pardew back to his goalkeeper, and Dortmund playing out from the back again. No pressure on them, despite us asking to stop the early ball out from the keeper. And he finds Ampadu again. Beating the press, out to the left back. They're keeping it well, but can we just get one mistake out of them? It's back to the goalkeeper for a 3rd time, who eventually hoofs long downfield. Knocked away by Stark, but only as far as Bollen, and Pereira beats him in a tackle, and then slides in, at risk of a second yellow, and thankfully he doesn't make any contact. He wins this one back though the 2nd time, and Ben can bring it clear down the right-hand side. He's lost out. Oh, we've been so sloppy today. When's the last time? In fact, we haven't played this badly at any stage of this club. Only 2 shots all game. We're going to ask the lads to show some passion. And we just need to get something out of them. I've not seen a performance like this so far, and that has got to be a very worrying sign. We talked about feeling invincible, and I'll stop those changes because we've got a free kick into Stark. And a good chance, the first one we've had in this game, and it's straight at the keeper from a point-blank range header. Auna, the goalkeeper, goes long for Dortmund. Out towards the left, and Bollen, who has been a thorn in our side all day, brings it down. Switch of play, Markovic heads down. Onyelo gets there, he's got a chance to cross, into Bollen, who heads over. And I don't feel like we're going to get anything out of this one. We will go and make some changes. Off the left, Castrati will be replaced. Jolson Fernandez on for him. Oliveira's not been great. Can we bring on Radan? He's going to be an advanced playmaker on attack. On the left-hand side, Jolson Fernandez, an inside forward. Wilhelmsen's not been great either, but I don't really want to make that change yet. I tell you what I'll do. David Bua's going to come on at right back for Pereira because he flew into a challenge on a yellow card and we can't afford to go down to 10. 10 minutes remaining. We're back on the right and we're going to go attacking. Abeng's lost out in a challenge and I know what? we're going to go 2-0 down here. BLX down in the right-hand side. Into the box unopposed. Good save, Maximiano. Let's go attacking then. Let's demand a bit more for the third time in this game. And let's just see if we can nick a chance from somewhere. Oh, it's going to be 2. Oh, what a block on the line. Wilhelmsen gets it away. It certainly looked like it was 2-0 and game over. But somehow we're plucky. We're just holding on. And it gives us a chance on the break still. Wilhelmsen heads the second corner away. But it's back out to the left to the scorer Farai. Into Garau. Plenty of time, finds Ampadu. He's making his way back from the corner and switches it to Bialek. Back to Farai again. Chance to shoot on the edge, but he goes back. His right back's there and he's got time on the ball. But Fernandez gets the block in. And that's the end of that one. But let's get our tactical duties a bit more attacking. We're going to be more expressive. And we're also going to push our defensive and attacking lines forward. It's something we do quite often with Dorking, and we're going to give it a go here with Gladbach. I guess we haven't had to try anything with them this year because we've not looked like losing at any stage. But this one is certainly the case. Jimenez gets the ball away, and it's still all Dortmund with 5 to go. They've got a free kick with Bialek into a dangerous area. Gutierrez there hits the post, and Abeng hacks it clear, and Radan's running onto it, but can't quite get there. Stoppage time beckons, 3 minutes of it, and we're on for our first defeat as manager of Gladbach. It's Ampadu playing out from the back to Ramos, out to the right-hand side, and Martinevski gets the ball wide to Bialek. He's going to take on the fullback and beat him, and could they put the icing on the cake here? There's a man in the box, 2 or 3 up chasing in support. Martinevski crosses, Stark heads away. Into the box, Bauer's there. What a save by the goalkeeper. That's incredible reflexes from Maximiano, but it's not going to be enough. It's just going to keep the score down. Farai's going to take an out-swinging corner. Surely the last moment of the match. Meyer heads in for 2, and Borussia Dortmund thoroughly deserved that. We are unbeaten all season until now, and the gap at the top of the Bundesliga closes to just 1 point. Borussia Dortmund 2, Borussia Monchengladbach 0, and that is our first worrying performance in our time in charge. It's taken till mid-December, which isn't bad, and we're still top of the league, so there's no need for panic. But that is a worrying sign as we move forward into a difficult spell this winter. So there we go. We lose the big game, deservedly so, and after 13 games unbeaten, unfortunately, our Bundesliga unbeaten run comes to an end. We're still top of the table by a point, but that gap can start to close now. And if we lose against Bayer Leverkusen, you start to see why I'm still predicting 5th. But let's skip ahead a week's time now, and a big game at home. We're facing Bayer Leverkusen, a side we've already managed on this channel in FM20, albeit very short term in a Christmas challenge. But let's see what they're like in comparison here. We're back for the second of today's doubleheader, and we start second in the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund have won their game earlier today. They are now top. Bayern Munich won their game. They're a point behind us. RB Leipzig won their game. They're a point behind us. And Bayer Leverkusen, today's opponents, 8 behind, but of course can close the gap to 5 with a victory. So it very much looks like top 5, top 6 will be no problem. But the issue is, how far down there are we going to finish? Today's game will probably read a lot into that for us, as will the Leipzig one next time off camera. But let's get into this game against Bayer Leverkusen. At home, where we've been so strong this year, and we've got to hope that we can produce again. Despite the poor result and performance last time, we're going with exactly the same 11 and 18 that have served us so well throughout the season. Everything on the dynamics front still very good, although it is dropping slightly, and you'd expect that after a first defeat. You lose that air of invincibility in a dressing room, of course things can go a little wrong. But let's go and get into this second game today, exactly the same squad, and see if we can beat the side that we've managed on the channel already this year. Well, a new formation we're coming up against today. A team of almost all regens, but they've got Tara at centre-half and Anana in goal. Very good young attacking players, though. And they've got wing-backs, and they're playing sort of a formation I've only ever used once before. It was with Sunderland in about FM16, maybe, and it worked really well. And we have come up against it a couple of times in various saves and struggled quite badly against it. Adding that Bayer Leverkusen are an elite-level side, that's probably going to make this quite difficult for us. But let's get into the first half with the tunnel interview done and see if we can stand up to the test here. It's Pereira to Wilhelmsen, first minute, into the box and cleared away, but Jimenez will recycle possession in the centre circle. Out to the right back Pereira. He's got time and space to run into down his channel, and a man behind him in support in Wilhelmsen, the Icelandic. into Jimenez. Chance to shoot from 25 yards, and it skims the crossbar on its way over, and Arna certainly looked worried about that one. But 5 minutes in, a much better start already, and we're finally threatening our opponent's goal. Well, 5 minutes to half time and absolutely nothing's happening. There's plenty of shots going on, but we're not seeing any of them. The only concern, I guess, Pereira getting an early yellow card yet again. But at half time, it's 0-0 and the performance against the top side is far better than it was last time round. Don't forget against Schalke and Bayern, both at home we did draw. Or was Schalke away? I can't quite remember. Here's Pereira at right back to a bang. Can we nick one of those famous 1-0 wins? Wilhelmsen out to Castrati. He's got two up with him. Seekins in a bit of a goal drought though, so we've got to be careful of that as Wilhelmsen goes to the overlapping Pereira. There's four in the box if he can get it in. Goes back to a bang. Wilhelmsen delivers to the edge. Jimenez on the volley. Just over the bar. Again an Arna scrambling, but this time it wasn't quite as close. A good chance early on in the second half too. Let's hope this time we have more than one attacking highlight. Well, we might not be so lucky. A quarter of the game to go, and we've not yet seen anything else. So we're going to take off Castrati from the left wing. He'll be replaced by Fernandez. Jimenez in central midfield, replaced by Liu Nan. He'll become a box-to-box midfielder. And Seekins, I'm going to replace with Radan, just because Radan scored more recently. So 20 minutes left. Let's go and get back into it. The lads all motivated, fired up, working hard, but nothing to show for it so far. 5 minutes left. We've gone positive, but this match looks like it's petering out. Into 3 minutes of stoppage time. After our worst performance of the season, comes the worst game of the season. Not a bad result. We'll take a point. I think that's a decent result. It keeps that gap 8 points to the Champions League places. Although it doesn't take us back to the top of the Bundesliga. So an episode without a victory. Borussia Dortmund are now top of the league. Bayern Munich hot on our tails, as are Leipzig. But we keep that crucial gap, and a top four finish would be a sensational first season result. So we missed the chance to win despite being the better side. Why have we adopted this particular tactical approach? What a weird time for that question. But there we go. Jimenez close to triggering a clause, which will mean we're paying Schalke a bit of money. But they've fallen away this year, so we're not too worried about that. Thankfully, our poor runners come just as the mid-season break hits, so we're going to have a chance to regroup. There's one friendly organised against PSV, and then we're back for two more big games at the top of the table. Leipzig and Hoffenheim, so we're going to get through them off camera, and then we're going to come back, I think, for the Schalke Cup game. That's going to be a massive one for us, because we're expected to reach the quarters or semis, and Schalke, of course, are a very tough opponent away from home. We did play them at home when we drew earlier in the year, so away from home, you'd imagine it'll be more difficult. We'll also have the January transfer deadline there as well. So what we'll do is we'll come back for deadline day, we'll play the Hanover game off camera, and then we'll play Schalke on camera. That should be an eventful one. Our first January window with our new director of football. There's one or two little bits of strengthening needed in the squad. Will he be able to get it done? Will he go back in for the lad that he tried to sign in the summer from Bayern? There's a lot of unanswered questions. So if you want to see that and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the performance. Early worrying signs against Dortmund for me there. If you want to make sure you don't miss anything, please do subscribe down below and turn those notifications on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel from both this story and my Dorking Wanderers One Club save. On Sunday, the Stadium Review series continues. This week, a more familiar one in Crewe Alexandra. And we've got 2 episodes a week still from the new Cricket 19 career. So if you haven't seen that yet and you're a cricket fan, please do pop over and check it out. Finally, my weekly live stream save continues. That's every Tuesday at 10 AM. Thank you so much for those that came along this week and supported the first episode. We're continuing with the Burnley side we managed in the head coach, but this time is a youth academy challenge. We had loads of brilliant youngsters there, and we're going to try and take them to the very top with a few additions to help them out. Finally, a big thank you to everyone who's gone over and supported our podcast channel. It's great to see so many of you trying it out. It's gone absolutely nuts the last couple of weeks. We've been lucky to interview quite a few current and former professional footballers, and we've got matchday vlogs and topical podcasts as well. So thank you so much for your support with that. It really does mean a lot to all of us. But a big thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you next time on Saturday as we come back for a big German Cup game and what's likely to be a hectic transfer deadline day.